You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show.
Capping off the week where Raw was occupied, main event was live, and SmackDown had some surprising twists and turns. This is AfterBuzz TV for WWE SmackDown, hailing from Little Rock, Arkansas. Welcome, everybody. I'm Christian Rosenberg, rocking the show today. First off, alongside me, Miss Kaori, Takee. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. It was a great SmackDown show.
Great SmackDown this week, and Rome, unfortunately, is not able to be here this week. However, filling in for Rome, completing essentially the AfterBuzz trifecta this week.
I've completed my triathlon as of this show. I'm broken, I'm beat, I'm tired, and I am angry at you because in your wrap-up of this week, you left out NXT. Last night was NXT, which I personally covered and do every week.
I wasn't putting down NXT. My apologies. By the way, that's the hobo if you don't know.
Absolutely, you better know me.
I was not putting down NXT at all. I'm just talking about capping off the live events that we had with SmackDown and main event and Raw. NXT was fantastic.
Absolutely, it was, but this was no SmackDown to put down. This was a darn good show we had tonight.
It was a very good show, and of course we started off recapping the craziness that was on Raw with the Occupy Raw with, 50-something people in the ring with Daniel Bryan demanding the match with Triple H. And then he pulled the swerve that we all been waiting for. Wait, no, if I beat you, I'm in the main event at WrestleMania. Hobo, you were hanging out with the Raw crew, so you got the first hand to talk about it right when it happened. It's been a few days to let it sink in a little bit. Are you still just as excited as we all were on Monday?
Absolutely. I am excited. I am excited at the possibilities of him possibly going all the way to the top and getting the top WrestleMania moment, and maybe just satisfied that he has finally gotten his due, more or less, that he's finally sort of getting an opportunity, whether it comes to fruition or not, that maybe he can actually attain that. If he doesn't, at least he's been offered the opportunity to come close.
Absolutely. Corey.
Yeah,
your
no,
thoughts?
Obviously, I don't think the excitement has simmered down in the past couple of days. If anything, it's elevated because now it's starting to getting juiced up. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, watching it, I was thinking, just before it went to the commercial, there was about 10 or so people in the ring. We're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Then when it came back from the commercial, and there was 90 people. I was just like, where did this come from? I thought it was one of the most unique segments in a long time, and something that really helps build up the match. Because now, as we lead into the beginning of SmackDown with Triple H starting the show off, it's almost like Triple H versus Daniel Bryan is a bigger match than the title match.
It was a very smart move to make it an Occupy Raw Street, I guess you can say.
Raw Street. I like that.
Well, I mean, it was smart on the part of WWE because that had been trending on Twitter, the Occupy since Chicago. They tried to occupy, they tried to steer the show. Instead, WWE took it. They owned it, and they actually made it something better. They actually did give it to the fans. That sort of created by propelling Daniel Bryan forward.
And as only Triple H can do, he starts off SmackDown mocking what they gave the fans on Raw. He's, talking about, I'm sure Monday was one of the greatest nights of your life. I'm sure all you guys are happy. Well, guess what? Daniel Bryan's not here tonight. Just piss off Little Rock right from the get-go. And he was like, I want to tell you guys how happy I am that you all had your moment, and you guys traded in all of your happy tomorrows for this past Monday Night Raw. Because now I end the yes movement. He's saying yes movement, done. And then we just go on with your classic Triple H getting ready for a big fight promo that, that he just always delivers. At WrestleMania, I'll crush your hopes and dreams. There's no pot of gold. There's no fairy tale. There is no happily ever after. But then in the midst of all this, he brings out Damien Sandow.
And we were like, yay, Damien Sandow.
He's on TV.
Yay.
It was a fantastic callback on their part because he was the one who was supposed to sort of clear things out, maybe, or at least have a match to sort of disperse these people who had occupied the ring, and he didn't deliver. So the boss now is going to have to duck it there.
Well, would anyone have been able to deliver? They could have sent out anybody.
Yes.
They would have done the same thing.
But hey, if you're going to blame somebody, it's going to be the guy who didn't do what you wanted him to do. Sure, you can be angry at the fans, but you can't actually take out your anger on the fans. You can, however, damn one of your people.
On one of your employees.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was Sandow.
Yep. So Triple H, he introduces Sandow, and he goes, Damien, I'm going to ask you to please refrain from your verbose justification. And he looks at the crowd. For those of you who don't understand what that means I'm asking him to shut up.
Very clever.
And Triple H asks him for an apology for his lack of, commitment of going in the ring and stopping doing what he asked. Sandow obliges. He apologizes, and he's like, it will never happen again. Triple's like, all right, good. Oh, by the way, I talked to Vicky. You're going to be wrestling first. I don't know who your opponent was, but just be ready. You're about to wrestle. And I was like, okay. And then the music of the Shield hits. And Michael Cole's bringing up how, Triple H planned the Shield to come out and attack Sandow. It then led to Damien Sandow versus Seth Rollins one-on-one. But I was really pondering, I know I was talking with you while we were watching the screening room. I was kind of confused with this match because it's starting like heel versus heel. However, they're slowly kind of making the Shield act like good guys now.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still the heel in that match because they're ganging up on the underdog Sandow. Yet Sandow was trying to escape like a heel.
Yeah,
it was like a bunch of
the logic.
stuff.
The logic in this match did not work for its advantage. I mean, the crowd didn't quite buy into it. Sure, they cheered a little bit, but I mean, honestly, it was a heel versus heel match, and really nobody wins in that sort of situation.
No, and it made the Shield look dominant, kind of back to their old ways. I mean, this was pretty close to a squash match. Seth Rollins just dominating. There's a point, like I said, where Sandow tried to leave, and he was surrounded by Reigns and Ambrose. They didn't touch him or anything. And then Rollins dove out of the ring on him, suicide dive, brought him back in, hits the blackout, gets the win. And then they go to celebrate after do their usual Shield pose. But for some reason, Ambrose, he ain't feeling it. He wasn't like in the mood to pose. But then he's like, oh, I know why. He goes out of the ring, grabs Sandow, brings him back, and so all three of them can gang up on him, just like the Shield used to always do. And then a triple power bomb onto poor Damien Sandow. And then the Shield stand over him in unison in celebration.
Well, here's the thing. You guys were mentioning it while we were screening the Shield face or heel, like what the heck's going on, kind of. But for me, the Shield is kind of their one own entity. It's for themselves, whatever they think is right. And sometimes they may go against or for the corporation or the fans, whatever. So that's why it's kind of feeling like, what the hell's going on with them?
It's a good point. They sort of do what they want to do, and you sort of get that feeling. But, I mean, it really carried tonight. They did what they wanted to do. And what they wanted to do was look dominant. They wanted to send a message. They're not only going to beat you in the ring, but they're going to beat you physically. They're going to get the 1, 2, 3, and then they're going to put you out of commission. That's what they're going to do.
That's right. And I find it interesting because I almost feel like now it's almost like every few weeks there's a different leader of the Shield. For the longest time it was Ambrose. Then around Survivor Series time, it kind of turned into Reigns, everyone kind of being behind Reigns. And then with the whole Seth Rollins walking out on them in that match on Raw a couple weeks ago and then kind of regrouping them together, now Rollins is kind of in the forefront of everything. And I like that because it shows, again, more solidarity in a team. Anyone can take charge. Anyone can step up to the plate. And really, this last couple of weeks, I mean, Seth Rollins has definitely been the MVP of that trio.
Seth Rollins definitely upped his game verbally, but Dean Ambrose doesn't stop by just his facial expressions, just by how he demonstrates anger, curiosity, absurdity, just by his face. It's all you need to see. He doesn't even need to speak.
He's always on. He's
Always.
always in that zone.
Yeah.
Whenever he's in the ring, whenever he's on television, he is in the zone, and he really shows that through his facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
He's dialed into what's going on, and you really get to see that. It's great to see somebody.
so good
He's very
with
good
the
at that.
Shield.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great to see all that, and a lot more great action that happened tonight on SmackDown. We're going to talk about that, but first we got a message from the booth, so we're going to check that out and then get back to SmackDown.
The booth.
The booth. Or maybe we're not going to the booth. That's fine.
Tuesdays on
Yeah, we
Oxygen.
are.
I'm Maria Menounos, and my life can get a little crazy. I host Extra. I'm an actor, producer, dancer, wrestler, and a lot of other things. I live with Kevin, my boyfriend of 15 years. Do you really love me?
I would say that I'm in serious like.
And my parents. Yep, I just said I live with my parents.
You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazy. My parents want us to get married.
You both love each other. Get married.
Kevin and I don't. I am gonna get married when I want to get married. I think I want kids. Kevin definitely doesn't want them now.
This is being pushed on to us.
And of course, my parents wanted them yesterday.
This year you gotta have it.
And I have a house full of people counting on me financially.
If I take my eye off the ball, everything can fall apart.
It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or wants us to do. It's what we want to do.
Everyone thinks that they know what's best for me, but I'm really the only one.
I have got to figure things out.
Chasing Maria Menounos is so new. Every Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, starting March 18, only on Oxygen.
Yeah, you heard it right. Chasing Maria Menounos on Oxygen premieres just next week on the 18th. I'm excited for it because they talk about AfterBuzz a lot in it, as well as on this week's Talk Is Jericho podcast. Good friend of AfterBuzz, Mr. Chris Jericho, he had Maria on his show where they talked about the show and they talked about AfterBuzz. So a little. Everyone likes to plug stuff. So those of you that are listening to us for the first time because you heard about us on Talk Is Jericho, welcome, wherever you've been, but welcome nonetheless. And for those of you that have not seen Chris Jericho or heard Chris Jericho's podcast, make sure you check that out on iTunes, as well as all the other great AfterBuzz shows on iTunes, where we do Raw, we do SmackDown, we do Main Event. This guy, Hobo, does NXT as well.
I do.
Total Divas.
Coming back.
It premieres
so
this Sunday on the E! Network. The premiere of the AfterBuzz season of Total Divas will be this Monday night, so make sure you check out that. If there's any other TV show that you like, more than likely AfterBuzz does. You can see the full schedule of shows at AfterBuzzTV.com. And, of course, follow their Twitter at AfterBuzzTV and leave comments on the YouTube page where we always like to respond. I mean, once in a while, Hobo gets his hands on a computer and he responds.
Hey, your
as well.
local library
That's
is
right.
Well stocked with computers, and the internet is quite free. So is YouTube. So I really do monitor the YouTube pages. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it keeps the conversation going.
Absolutely.
That's right. We love responding to you guys, and we love reading your comments. And let's get a couple comments on this match between Big E and Fandango. And I'm only saying a couple because this match was only about a couple minutes. It may be 2 minutes long, this match.
Fandango's entrance was just about as long as this match.
Yes.
Just about. Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, my biggest note and highlight from this match is Big E has a new T-shirt.
Yeah.
I like the T-shirt.
I've seen it before. I don't know exactly how new it is. Maybe a few weeks.
Okay, because he
old
hasn't
now.
generally worn it out to the ring.
Right. It's the
At
first
least on
time I've seen him
SmackDown.
wear it out.
Yeah, so I liked it. But yeah, this was, I mean, we talked about a squash match between Seth Rollins and Sandow. This was a super squash between Big E and Fandango.
Super squash.
Super squash. Hashtag super squash.
That's cool.
And I mean, I remember a couple months ago, they had an Intercontinental title match that was just fantastic. And now Fandango's getting less than 2 minutes.
That's the way the world turns in WWE.
And in the midst of this, Fandango announces that he's going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Mm-hmm. I don't like his chances now after he got destroyed by Big E.
And also we know a couple more contenders in there.
Yes, we found out later on tonight as well.
I mean, maybe Fandango's off his game. He's thinking too far into the future. He's thinking about WrestleMania when really he's got to be thinking about tonight. He's got to be thinking about Big E because Big E was certainly thinking about him.
Well, yeah, Big E there to fight as he always does. He's a fighting champion, yet he doesn't defend the title often, but he's there fighting.
Right.
Every week. I mean, he's been wrestling the Real Americans nonstop the last couple weeks, and then tonight, just Fandango, just wrong place, wrong time. And
Per usual Fandango recently, though.
I don't know about that.
I feel that way. He comes out, you don't think he's going to win most of the time recently.
He's one of those guys who doesn't need to win.
That's
no matter
true.
win or lose,
correct.
the fans are going to be behind him. They always want to see him win. They're happy to see him win. But if he loses, they're not going to be disheartened. They're going to cheer for him just as hard.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
he spent the last month kind of feuding with Santino and went back and forth. 1 week Fandango won, the next week Santino won.
But that was
and that's fine.
I felt like that was slightly more for Emma's gateway into...
That was very much for Emma's benefit.
It was absolutely. But in the end, who's the ones in the ring? It's Fandango and Santino. And the crowd suddenly wasn't stopping doing the Fandango dance whenever he entered, and they're still going to continue to do that, win or lose. Just really, though, under 2 minutes? Come on.
I don't know. Maybe they've got other plans for Fandango.
Maybe.
And it does not include this championship.
Yeah, maybe. We
Well,
will wait and see.
He might get that Andre the Giant gold. We don't know what size it is title.
Don't you want to see him try to dance around that giant, supposedly giant trophy? We're just getting awkward camera angles.
Like we all have like
I'm waiting for this trophy to come out. It's like a
Predictions-
runner-up bowling trophy.
predictions tiebreaker. How big is that trophy?
It's got to be at least 4 feet tall.
I'm not interested in how big it is. I'm interested in how much chocolate it's filled with.
I'm
Is it
always-
solid chocolate or is it one of those that's hollow in the center?
Look,
I hate those.
I'm always interested in how big it is.
I was just going to ask you, does the size count?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Just
Well, Andre the Giant, never mind. I'm
Yep.
not gonna. Okay.
The bigger the gold.
all right. That
Gold.
happens.
Gold, is that what we're calling it now? Gold? All right.
That's what Kaori calls it. Recap.
Today.
Little recap from Monday Night Raw between The Undertaker and Paul Heyman in regards to the match that Taker will be having at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. This was one of those few recaps where I actually wish they gave us more in a recap.
Sure.
Because I loved Heyman's promo on Raw, breaking down how Shawn Michaels has, I think it was Shawn Michaels never won more than 2 in a row, or like Triple H never won more than 4 in a row. John Cena's never won more than 3 in a row.
The statistics are staggering. When
Yeah.
you look at them like on paper, basically in your face, you really understand how large the Undertaker's streak is in comparison to everyone else ever. 21-0 at WrestleMania is far and above the most incredible streak of all time.
Well, it's unheard of.
Absolutely.
I mean-
no one's even gotten close. No one's broken 10. He's got 21.
Yeah.
I mean-
not only that, no one's broken, I think, 6.
I think I have yet to have anyone come into WrestleMania and be like, all right, he's gonna break that streak. It just,
Oddly enough, do you know that The Miz is undefeated at WrestleMania? He's like the pre-show Mania king, but he's factually 4-0 right now.
well, that's a
counts?
different kind of
I
streak.
guess.
It's not 21.
No, it's certainly not 21.
21.
Maybe Miz will face Undertaker next year.
Maybe streak versus streak.
Yeah.
But then again, you would be like, oh, Undertaker will take this again.
Undertaker should take that in record time.
You know what? If Miz enters in that battle royal, I got to bet on The Miz because he's undefeated at Mania.
Mark your words.
Sure, okay. Place that bet if anybody will take it.
I don't know. I mean, the odds are with him, right?
Technically.
Right? All right. Now I'm super happy, though, because Bad News Barrett is back. We've been missing him since Elimination Chamber when his podium broke. They finally fixed it. It took about a month.
Couple traveling the podium.
Yep, they finally fixed it. It shoots back up. It's like 50 feet or over high that thing is, which is great. And I love is, he reminds everyone, in case we didn't know, that The Undertaker's 21-0 at WrestleMania, and we can all agree that is an incredible achievement. But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Oh, are you doing this?
All I can do is the bad news part. That's the only part I can somewhat do the accent.
You mean the bad?
Well, you can't.
bad?
That's it.
That's it.
You can't do that Cockney. He's kind of relaxed his Cockney accent. There was a while there when he first started coming out, you could not understand 2 words that were coming out of his face.
You're right.
But now he's worked on his diction.
Actually, kind of similar to Adrian Neville on NXT.
A little bit. Different part of the part of the island, but
different part of the world. Yes, I understand that.
Look,
they're not from the same
I'm very.
exact spot.
I like this. I like Bad News Barrett coming out giving bad news. He's great, but I do want to see him in the ring.
Battle Royal for Barrett.
When's he getting off that podium?
How about the Battle Royal? Then he could show up on the podium with the giant trophy next. He can go up on the podium and then find a way to stand on the trophy so he's even taller.
He can get a crane and grab it. And
Yes. It's like those games at the arcade, the claw.
Yeah, claw machine.
But yeah, so Barrett mentions, you're going to see the streak come to an end at WrestleMania 30, and then your children are going to be up all night in tears, and as a result of that, you won't get any sleep, and then you're going to go to work tired, and then the chances are you're going to fall asleep during a meeting, and that's going to cause you to get fired. Like, just a domino effect of The Undertaker losing is going to make millions of people around the world lose their jobs.
Barrett is 100% wrong in this case, and let me tell you why. It is not the children who would cry when The Undertaker loses his streak. It is the parents.
That's right.
The children have no idea who this old man is. The parents, however, have invested their entire lives into this man's WrestleMania streak and would come to tears if it were to lose and come to an end. Then that would probably lose her job. Although you could take a grievance.
I'm going to call in sick.
Yeah, you could. I've had a relative die. I need to stay out of the office.
Yeah, a small part of me died that night if The Undertaker loses.
I'm sorry to take as much time as you need, sir. Thank you. It was a terrible loss.
Well, you're leaving a voicemail for the boss because he's out because he's
also crying because the Undertaker.
He is the Undertaker.
Your boss is the Undertaker?
Wow.
Oh, just kidding.
That's intimidating.
Do you dig graves for a living? Is that your job?
I don't know. You could be.
Corey, I'm not going to lie. You're probably the hottest grave digger I've ever seen.
Pretty clean, too.
I know.
Thanks.
I look more like a grave digger than you do. I've dug a ditch or two in my lifetime.
It takes a lot of work. That's why I get the guns.
There's something there.
More than Gal Gadot for the Superwoman. But
Rome is watching this right now, and all he's doing is putting his hand on his forehead and slowly shaking his head side to side. Like, what happens when I'm gone?
Hey, he decided to be out today. This is what happens. He can't complain. He ain't here. He can't complain.
Why would we complain? The hobo is here.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, I'm more over than he is.
He's phenom. That's true.
That's right.
You are the AfterBuzz phenom.
I am. I've come taking this place by storm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I was really happy about Bad News Barrett. Now Corey's going to get happy because the real Americans are in action.
Oh, I decided to
Decided to what?
pretend not to care about Cesaro.
Abstain? It's
pre-
Lent,
That's-
after
that's-
all.
To pretend not to care about Cesaro.
That's a step.
Okay.
Okay, I know I have a problem, so I'm trying to do this recovery thing.
Addiction, first step is admitting you have a problem.
Yes.
I consider AfterBuzz SmackDown kind of like your intervention. It's a weekly intervention for you.
But understand, if you guys think Cesaro's great too, right?
It was a great talent.
I do. Yeah, he's very talented.
I don't
all
dream
over.
about him.
He's a heck of an athlete. Yeah.
Yes.
I
And
don't have any sort of feelings like you.
I
have
don't
feelings.
have feelings for him.
No, first step is admitting you have a problem.
Yes.
But this match was good.
What happened to your hashtag man box? You had two members of it. Cody was here too.
There was a lot of man box this week.
Yeah, she has her man box.
What the hell is a man box?
It's
that I don't. God, there's so many places to go.
I'm just going to break it down in the PG way.
Okay.
It's her imaginary container that she holds the superstars that she's most attracted to.
So you want to put these guys in your box?
There's an Yes, exactly. There's an attractive box, and they're my man box.
That's what you said, right? She wants to put these guys in her box.
In a container.
So let's talk about this match.
Can we interview them first, though?
I know.
If they come down for that.
Oh my gosh.
We need to. We need
Anytime.
to. Okay, Real Americans versus the Rhodes. I like how Michael Cole commented how tonight Zeb is wearing a fish and stream outfit. Is it really any different than what he wears every week?
I did not notice a difference.
I guess in Arkansas, it's the difference because people are heavily subscribed to fish and stream out there. Boy, that is a way of life for Arkansanians.
Am I just
Arkansanians.
super California not to know what fish and stream outfit is?
It's a magazine.
It's a magazine.
For fishermen.
You know how so many people out here are reading the tabloids, Us Weekly, all that. In Arkansas, apparently Fish and Stream is by the supermarket checkout.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
not here.
It's a simpler way of life out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We nearly see Cody Rhodes die in this match.
Yes.
To kind of put it bluntly.
Yeah.
He goes to the fly at Cesaro. Cesaro's supposed to catch him. We see Cesaro always catch people.
Well, he did it.
And he did catch him with like about an inch away from Cody's head crashing into the mat on the outside of the ring.
But he did it.
Oh no, he did it.
I'm trying to remember how that exactly happened. I mean, it was a simple dive, and I think he just may have landed a little bit far forward, and then sort of took a nosedive, and just he had to grab him and pull him back up.
It was a thing where Cesaro was trying to catch him and put him in his tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah,
but somehow I don't know if he just kind of went for it slightly earlier, or if Cody was turned, but somehow Cody nearly face planted onto the mat. It was quite a scary moment. Thankfully, Cesaro was able in the nick of time to hold on to him to finish off the move. This match consisted. I don't think Goldust was ever in the ring in this match.
Oh, he wasn't. He just got.
No, he started it. He
started the match.
He started the match, but it was Cody solidly throughout until until the end. He was in the match. Yeah, it was just in the end.
Yeah, so we got a fun exchange again from Cesaro and Swagger. One of them Swagger blind tags Cesaro, hits a suplex. Then Cesaro blind tag right back in, hits a suplex of his own. Stalled suplex. Stalled it. Just be like, hey, I did a little better than you. Another blind tag, and it's just like the heated exchange between the two. Meanwhile, we're seeing Cody start crawling to his corner.
Yeah.
And Cesaro finally yelling at Swagger. He doesn't try to stop him himself. He's like, hey, Swagger, you're the legal man. Go stop him. Swagger runs and knocks Goldust off the apron. Cody then tried to dive for the tag when Goldust not there.
Nobody home. Dang it, nobody home.
And then ducked a clothesline from Swagger, and all of a sudden put Swagger in a backslide. And for the first time in God knows how long, a backslide won a match.
Sometimes things happen like that. Swagger got beat on Monday with a roll-up.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's any way to win, you know?
You got to find a way to win.
Sometimes anything can win, especially when they're off their game. That was the thing is, you see the Rhodes, man, they are such a cohesive unit. I really do think they are the best tag team in the WWE right now.
Better than the Usos.
Wow.
Better than the Usos. Because the Usos never beat the Rhodes.
True. That is true.
So I think the Rhodes are actually superior, and you can see their cohesiveness in this match, and then the Real Americans are dominant. They're very strong, both of them together, very strong, but then it just starts to dissolve between them, and it just falls apart.
I mean, there is, of course, a silver lining to it, but at the same time, it's kind of sad because when they first got together, it was kind of exciting because you saw the solidarity. I remember, I think it was PayPal. I forget where it was. The Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank.
Oh, when they were both like helping each other to try to get the briefcase.
And it was like, doesn't matter which one gets it, just one of us gets it. But now it's like they're distracting each other. They're causing each other to lose.
And I'll tell you why. Swagger feels that he is less than superior. He's feeling like he is the weak link in all of this. Well, and it's looking like it's true. He got pinned on Monday. He got pinned tonight. He's causing trouble. He's trying to make up for something he feels he lacks, and as a result, he's falling flat.
And you know what?
But Cesaro's not being very nice about it either. He's kind of.
But that's when Swagger just simply walks up to Cesaro and be like, "Oh, hey, how'd you do in the Elimination Chamber? Oh, you didn't win. Do you remember the year before when I won mine? Oh, hey, that's a nice World Heavyweight title on your. Oh, you don't have that? Do you remember when I was champion? He can do that. He can because he's done it. I'm surprised we haven't really had much of that in this friendly rivalry?
Just a little side note. I do like how Zeb Coulter is trying to bring them back together. He's trying to tell them, "Hey guys, stop fighting!" He's like the father of the little kids.
He's a team manager.
I love it.
They did liken him to.
I love Zeb.
Zeb's got nothing if they break up.
Sure.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, well, if they break up, don't you think he would still pick one of them?
Well, it depends if one of them wants to stay with him.
I would think at least Swagger might need him a little bit.
You think he needs him? Needs him.
Right now,
so
yeah.
We are actually admitting that he is the weak link in this.
Yeah, I think
Cesaro is the stronger man.
Do you have to ask me twice?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
All right, now I know.
That's a no-brainer to Kaori.
Yeah.
Swagger is nowhere near the man container of Corey's, apparently.
He's in a
I'm
box.
just saying container to try to make it a little more PG. But after the match, as soon as the roll-up happened, or the backslide, excuse me, Real Americans start beating down both the Rhodes, and then the Usos run out to save the Rhodes, and then we have a standoff kind of between the Usos, the Real Americans, and the Rhodes. Meanwhile, the Outlaws are still around because they still have their rematch.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Are we sensing some type of another fatal four-way type tag title match for Mania?
I would like that.
It was exciting to see that whole image of the Usos and the Rhodes and Real Americans.
Yeah, I am curious because and obviously I don't know how legit it is, but I was informed yesterday that Road Dogg is actually suffering from some type of back injury.
Oh yeah, I heard something similar to that myself.
Yeah, so now the severity of it, who knows whether or not hopefully he'll be good enough to compete at WrestleMania so they can kind of like solidify this and do the four-way, because then all of a sudden they just did a triple threat and the Outlaws weren't even involved in it. Kind of ruins this whole build that they've had for the last 6 or so weeks between the Usos and the Outlaws.
It wouldn't seem fair. It wouldn't seem right. Yeah. Well, I think we have one of the most exciting tag team divisions we've had in a long time.
Absolutely.
Oh, in like a decade.
If we were to have a fatal four-way at WrestleMania, I would be more than happy to see that. That would be fine with me.
They would steal the show.
Absolutely. I can't imagine what they would put together, but it would seal the show.
Yeah. And, like WrestleMania, I mean, pay-per-views, they tend to go all out, but WrestleMania even more so.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Speaking of, I just thought of, I'm kind of missing, now I forgot their names. PTP.
The Primetime Players?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I'm just missing Titus, period.
That's.
Where's Titus?
Where are they?
You don't like Darren Young?
I like Darren too, but they started this whole escalating Titus. And then what happened?
Because we got so excited that they finally split, and Titus was being a dickhole, I guess.
I liked him better as a team myself.
I enjoyed the team. It was only a matter of time before the breakup. I mentioned on the show when the breakup happened. It happened sooner than I thought it would. But yeah, I want to see them both.
I enjoyed the team, but I enjoy the feud more. I think it's time for that.
Really?
But I want to see it.
The feud's done.
Well, I don't even know where they are anymore.
The feud is a gateway. The feud is always a gateway to something greater when a tag team breaks up. And when there's nothing greater, what the heck is the point of the feud?
Well, that's the thing. What was the point of the feud now that they're not really around?
They should have just stayed together.
All of a sudden,
that's what I'm concerned about.
They're going to show up in like a few weeks and be like, oh, we settle our differences.
You laugh, but that's possible.
I know. I hope that doesn't happen. Recap of the promos on Raw between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Now the match is official. John Cena versus Bray at WrestleMania. Would anyone like to place a bet with me that says Hulk Hogan will be in John Cena's corner in this match?
No.
No.
Really?
Actually, yes.
You don't think so?
They can't touch him. He is not cleared to do anything. As Ken Napzok put it on Monday, Hulk Hogan is not cleared to cut his own steak. Yes, he is that fragile physically. They cannot touch him. They cannot look at him funny. They can't breathe on him wrong. He won't be in his corner because he can't do anything.
Interesting. I would think he could even just, because he even was at least just like standing there on Raw, like getting ready. We knew nothing was going to happen.
They didn't even get in the ring with Hogan there. They didn't even like bump noses. His nose could fall off. He could literally turn to dust if you touch him wrong. Just and that would be it.
I would love to see that.
Just red and yellow dust in the
Hogan
wind.
Turns to dust.
And Hulkamania floats through the air.
That would be his WrestleMania moment.
Nothing left but his weave.
Oh yeah, because Hogan hasn't had many WrestleMania
that
moments.
That could be his last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one where he turned to dust and vanished.
That's the best way to end it. Anyway.
And by the way, how about the like the Disney music that was playing when we got the recap of Cena and Hogan embracing in the ring?
Oh, I had to contain my vomit. I think that's what I was
There's
containing.
nothing wrong with Disney music. I'm just saying.
In wrestling, yes.
Yeah, no, especially when it has to do with John Cena and Hulk Hogan. I just, God, just makes me gag.
I think the kids can like it.
I'm sure the kids like it.
Well,
but
there you go.
I'm a grown-ass man, and I do not like that.
He is a grown-ass hobo.
You're darn right.
That's true. With his Transformer shirt.
And he's the box
Optimus Prime.
What's up?
That's right.
Transformers in the house.
I'm a team.
Not lame. Shut up.
You are so loud. I love it.
He also dances.
Really surprising.
I know.
I have no idea how I get this loud.
All right, well, that recap led to Bray versus Kofi, and the commentators, I don't think ever mentioned Kofi in this match. It felt like they were just talking about Cena and Bray. Meanwhile, Bray and Kofi actually had a very good match. There was a lot more offense from Kofi than I thought there would be in this match. Real good competitive back and forth match. Kofi took a nasty bump on the outside.
He took a lot of nasty things, and he made a lot of things look good. Well, they both made everything look good.
I think it made Bray Wyatt look like a madman. A madman with a vicious streak, which really you don't need to push too hard to make him look like that.
Yeah, no, agreed. And Bray ends up hitting the Sister Abigail for the win, which really wasn't much of a surprise. If Kofi somehow won that match clean, it'd be like, what?
Yeah, that would have upset everything. That wouldn't have made any sense at all.
Yeah. But yeah, Bray Wyatt wins a fun match. The two of them always put on fun matches.
Yeah.
And I think it shows really the caliber of performer that Kofi Kingston is, that he can hang with Bray Wyatt. I mean, really, sort of going into this, we thought it wasn't going to be long. It's like, oh, this will be a short match again.
Yeah, Big E Fandango was 2 minutes, and this end was going to be a couple.
No, but
they gave it time.
Kofi Kingston, they like him as a performer, and he's a strong performer.
He
hung in there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in title contention again real soon here.
You expect him to have a Royal Rumble-esque moment if he's in that Battle Royal?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. I think
so. He has his WrestleMania moment.
It's his claim to fame, really, those Royal Rumble moments. I mean, once John Morrison kind of took a walk, it was Kofi Kingston who stepped in and started doing these very elaborate sort of saves. And if he's in the WrestleMania Battle Royal, there's no question he's going to be trying something new and different.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one that turns Hulk Hogan into dust.
Kofi?
I'm kidding. Oh, my gosh. Come on.
Well, he would
dive. He would dive to the outside on Hogan, saying, "Catch me," and then Hogan would, and just...
That's what I was saying.
Kofi just falls flat on his face, and like you see his face come up, and it's just covered in the Hogan dust.
He'd come up wearing the mustache.
He would jump during the disintegration.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Shield is backstage with Kane.
People are going to be mad about us talking about Hulk Hogan.
No, come on, we love Hogan.
We state our opinions. We appreciate and love what Hogan's done.
Oh,
what he's done.
Not recently.
No, I said what he's done.
A long time ago, not recently.
Yes. Shield backstage with Kane. Kane's congratulating the Shield on how Reigns and Rollins defeated the Rhodes brothers on Raw, and how Ambrose successfully defended his title on Main Event, which was his first successful title defense. Actually, he defended the title at the Raw that we were at in LA, but that was the first one in God knows how many months. Ambrose is like, "Oh, well, thanks, but why are you worried about us? Shouldn't you be worried about the Big Show?" And Kane's like, "I got this." He's like, "I'm going to destroy the Big Show." And he orders the Shield to be at ringside with him. And Rollins like, "Oh, wait, I get it. You want us there to protect you." And Reigns tells him, "We don't take orders from you."
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden now more dissension between Kane and the Shield, which again kind of brings up how earlier in the night when we had the Shield and Sandow, it's just like, okay, which way are they going with this? Like, is this really now focusing on the Shield turning babyface, or something with Kane finally trying to get, because he's been on a losing streak since he's become, corporate Kane. So kind of like, where are they going with this?
I think it shows that they only take orders from the absolute tippy top. They're not going to take orders from Kane, Triple H only. They don't want Kane butting in, and this time we have Roman Reigns and Kane butting heads again. This time, the rest of the Shield had to pull Reigns away from Kane to make sure nothing physical took place.
Yeah. Do you think that's an indicator of what could be?
What? It could be.
Well, I mean, we could have Reigns versus Kane, but then the question is, what are Ambrose and Rollins doing at Mania? Because it will make the most sense that the Shield was together in a match. Whether it's a 6-man tag, they all wrestled each other. That's what we thought it would be, but it doesn't appear that now.
Unless in the next 3 weeks they abruptly break up.
It doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
I don't think we're going to have anything. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on, but you can definitely tell they want Kane at WrestleMania. Yeah. Originally, it was supposed to be Kane and CM Punk. Then it was Kane and Bryan. Now it could be Kane and Reigns or Kane and Rollins. It could be any one of those.
Maybe Kane will just be in the Battle Royal now.
Maybe clean house. It'll be the Shield.
When has Kane ever? He has never like won a Rumble. Has he ever won like a giant Battle Royal? He's always like dominant in them and then never wins them.
Ask our handy chat that. They know.
Hey, chat roll. Has Kane ever won a Battle Royal? Let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Divas action. Nikki versus Tamina. AJ is sitting on commentary, and I like how AJ mentions, like, the Divas division lately has really stepped up their game, and I'm the reason for it.
I mean, it's the same thing all the time. Her speech. But
by the way, random stat that I found out on main event this week, the live main event, they had AJ successfully defend the Divas title against Natalya. That was the longest women's title match, televised women's title match, in about 25 years.
That was the longest.
In WWE. The longest in 25 years. Which baffles me as I'm trying to gain my thoughts over AJ's music playing in my ears. Because, I remember, Trish main eventing Raw in a cage match and all this stuff, and it just baffles me that was actually the longest.
Okay, televised. I mean, we're not talking about pay-per-views. We're talking about television.
TV. So
right.
Raw, SmackDown, in this case, main event.
Right. Well, it's really hard to believe, but I think it shows that they're putting stock in this women's division, that they're really pushing it from the ground up. Those of us who watch NXT really know that the women's division, it is not a Divas division down there. It is a women's division. And they are some of the best matches that you could imagine.
Paige's submission hold is disgusting.
What is it called? I think the technical term is a modified scorpion something. It's really great.
Oh, yeah. The Paige Emma match from NXT Arrival, to me, was the best Divas match in years.
Yes.
And it wasn't
a
Divas
Divas
match.
It was a women's match. And I think we can thank Sarah Del Rey for that.
Yes.
For revitalizing the training for the women's division, which I think is starting basically from the roots. And you can see it going up through the organization, and the strength of the women's division is growing.
Yes, and please, when you got a second, go to WWE.com because they have an awesome article about Sarah Del Rey. For those of you who might like, who's Sarah Del Rey?
You should definitely know her. If you're not a fan of independent wrestling, that's fine. But these people are definitely the next phase of evolution of the wrestling business as a whole. You should definitely know who they are.
Yeah, so definitely check out that article to learn who Sarah Del Rey was. It was an excellent, greatly written article. But let's get back to this match. Tamina, I actually thought this Divas match was very good. Tamina hit a Samoa drop, went for her Superfly splash, but landed on her feet as Nikki got out of the way, and then hit a gorgeous super kick on Nikki. But Nikki kicked out at 2. AJ's kind of frustrated that she kicked out, starts running around the ring, and as she turns the corner, Brie runs off the apron and dives down on AJ, taking her out. Tamina then goes out of the ring, takes out Brie,
and comes back,
hops back in the ring, and then Nikki sets her up. There's the Bella Bomb, the Bella Buster. There's they both have names for their moves that have the word Bella in it. I'm mixing the two up. I used to mix up which Bella was which. I figured that out.
But it wasn't hard.
Well,
yeah.
now it's easy.
They made it easier.
They made it easier. Now I just don't remember which move was the Bella Buster, which one's the Bella Bomb. And
this would probably be the Bella Buster, considering it's like a torture rack spine. Spine buster.
Yeah.
Type thing. Yeah.
So Nikki gets the win on Tamina. Are we setting up Nikki? She's like the only total diva besides Naomi, who unfortunately is injured, that hasn't had her one-on-one Divas titles match. Are we setting up AJ and Nikki at Mania?
Would it be bad for me to say that? I hope not.
Why?
I just don't want.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Why is that?
It doesn't make any sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
They haven't built this at all. Where is it going?
Nikki pinned AJ on Raw. She just pinned Tamina on SmackDown. They got 3 more weeks.
And Natalya got involved on Monday.
But she lost her match.
But they're still teasing that. And then they need to make a clear and defined match for what we are planning on seeing at WrestleMania. They are not committing to a match. I want to know what we should see, and there should be a good reason behind it. I don't know where we're going.
Yeah. I personally really hope that not necessarily by this Monday's Raw, but by next Monday's Raw, the entire card is done. I feel bad if there's a WrestleMania match that's announced 5 days before WrestleMania. Or
even the day of.
Or the day of.
Or the week of. I mean, it's just been a rough season for them. Injuries, people walking out, different situations going on. They've had to shuffle a lot of people. It's been an off year for them. It's been a strong year with the launch of the network, but overall, as far as WrestleMania is concerned, it's not been the easiest season for them.
I think I want it to be a diva that I can believe might be able to take AJ's title from her, because I'm ready to see another Divas champion, honestly.
AJ's had an incredible run, and the run...
It's kind of wearing out.
I mean, who do we want to see? Who do we want to see?
I love AJ, but it just...
I mean, the
Tamina?
The most sense, like we've been saying for weeks, is Tamina. I'm not against Nikki being the one, though, because you can do the story of, well, Cena guided her, motivated her. You know they can do that.
Look at me going,
They can do that. I'm not saying I want them to do that. I'm saying they can do that.
Which also, it could help Total Divas. It could help build interest.
Exactly.
It's a good crossover. Well, yeah. In wrestling, especially in the WWE, business wins out a lot of the times. A lot of their decisions are business decisions. They are not wrestling decisions.
It could be Eva Marie.
Moving on.
Look at you guys, because
moving
you know
on.
it's true.
Moving on.
The devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
Granted, it'd be like a 1 minute weird match, something.
A roll up! Oh my God, it's the shortest match ever.
All right. we got a bunch still to go over and not much time, so we got to pick up.
Fine, we'll knuckle down.
It's all right. Because this was a packed SmackDown. We had a lot of stuff to talk about.
There was a lot.
Ziggler Del Rio. We didn't think we were going to see this match until WrestleMania. Apparently, that match is not happening at WrestleMania because we found out Del Rio announces that he's going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Now we got a former champion in the Battle Royal. So now it's starting to get a little interesting. These guys tore the house down in this match.
They did.
Fantastic match. Ziggler actually gets the win, which really surprised me.
Yay!
A good long match and a clean win for Ziggler. And then Renee Young gets in the ring with him. And it's like, Dolph, you've won 2 matches in a row.
Against Del Rio.
Wow. I know, but it's just like, you won 2 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
You got a streak.
Sometimes that's the state of things. You can't win every night of the week. So if you win 2 in a row, it's time to celebrate.
Yeah.
Well, for Ziggler, it is.
But then to Ziggler's credit, we've seen backstage interviews with him where he was getting really emotional and just delivering great promos. Finally, we had one. It was shorter because obviously time constraints being it was in the ring, but kind of a little emotional side of Ziggler. First off, announcing that he too will be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and at WrestleMania 30, he's going to make his own destiny. When he wins the Andre Trophy, he'll finally have his WrestleMania moment. At this point, obviously, there's still a lot of people that have yet to been announced for this. But right now, Ziggler is my pick for that Battle Royal, based on the emotion that we saw here. I think they'll give him a moment.
I think that's a very early prediction.
There's still time because we still got a lot more people to get in.
I ain't making my choice yet.
I'm not saying that's set in stone. There's I got to find out the other 25 people in this match.
But I think that's a solid early pick.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he has won 2 in a row now, which to us doesn't seem like much. But against an opponent like Del Rio, that is actually a very real accomplishment. And he's showing that he's really starting to come into his own now with his backstage promos, with his in-ring work. He's starting to really, he's not as hungry as he was, but he seems more focused with his hunger, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but when you see a man change, when you see a man sort of drop his ego and work towards a goal, work towards actually becoming the best, you really can see it, and that's what I'm seeing in him.
Preach, Hobo.
Ah, yes, that's what I do. I testify. You say it's a turn-on?
Yes.
Am I preaching?
An ambitious man is a turn-on.
I thought you were saying Hobo's preaching was a turn-on.
Well, that too.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a wild Friday.
You should come here on Friday.
St. Patrick's Day weekend, baby. Tearing the house down.
Again, Rome is sitting at home being like, what Why? I can never leave. Latest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. Not announced on Raw. We get the announcement here on SmackDown.
Yeah.
The legendary Carlos Colon, the father of Carlito and Primo, a.k.a. Diego of Los Matadores, being inducted. I honestly thought he was already in the Hall of Fame. Because he should have been a long time ago.
He's one of those guys who is absolutely a wrestling legend.
Yes.
Whether or not he's in the WWE Hall of Fame, he's in so many other Hall of Fames that maybe you can forget about this one for a little while.
Yeah.
It's nice that they recognized him, but honestly, I think the world as a whole has recognized him enough, and it's nice to see him get inducted. And
I'm very happy for...
When did he retire, guys?
I don't know if he is retired.
Yeah, he might still wrestle once in a while in Puerto Rico.
Right.
He's one of those guys that just like, oh, I'll put on the boots.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think the last time he was maybe in a WWE match, he was in a Rumble. I want to say maybe like 97. He was in the first one, the lost one. I know he kind of came out of nowhere. It was somewhere in the mid 90s that he suddenly appeared in a Rumble. That's my farthest memory back as far as the last time he was wrestling WWE. But congrats to Carlos Colon into the Hall of Fame.
That should be very emotional to see, because he's going to be inducted by his sons.
I would assume Carlito and Primo inducted.
That's what I had heard, and that'll be quite emotional.
How
That'll
about
be very
El
good to
Torito
see.
too? Just kidding.
I hope not.
If he can reach the microphone.
I hope El Torito's in his suit at the Hall of Fame with a bow tie.
And he's the one
Absolutely,
that's talking?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, no.
Matching bow tie.
Yes, matching bow tie. A promo by the Wyatts. I'm just going to go through a couple quick lines that I loved on this. Luke, first off, saying, the past was erased, and the erased was forgotten, and the lie became the truth. And then Bray mentions how he's not asleep, but he's always dreaming.
He never sleeps, but he's always dreaming.
That's just, again, as Bray always is, that's just creepy.
Because it's believable.
I
You
know.
can literally see him walking around like a shabby house, just never sleeping.
Yeah, I'm just another creepy
It's like, who
promo
released
from the
this
Wyatts.
guy from the insane asylum is how you feel.
Why is he not nominated for an Oscar?
Because
he
he's
needs to
not
be
in
in
a
a movie.
medium that they want to be recognizing.
You need to be in a movie,
Well,
son.
that
Titanic.
WWE Pictures, make it happen.
Bray Wyatt,
Give Bray
Titanic.
a movie.
They
I'm not saying
they could do like
Titanic.
an origin story for Bray Wyatt.
The story of how Bray became Bray.
Yeah. I think people would go nuts for that.
That would be probably their most successful movie.
Heck yeah, it would.
Huh.
Isn't that called a biography?
Well,
I mean, it would, since it's of a fictional person, it's not necessarily a biography.
The Legend of Wyatt. All right, main event, Kane versus The Big Show. Shield comes down to ringside as how kind of they were ordered by Kane. And Kane hit, it kind of looked like a chokeslam off the top rope onto The Big Show, which, I mean, it was more like a power slam, but he had him by the throat.
Right. The impact was different. With a chokeslam, the impact is pretty directly on the back of the skull, but since he grabbed him and kind of floated him over, the impact was a little bit lower. It was on his lower back, which isn't necessarily a death blow, so to speak.
Well, yeah, because then Big Show kicked out.
Surprisingly, I'm still surprised because it was a huge bump for a big man like that to take.
And Kane, furious that he kicked out of it, and then orders the Shield up onto the apron and tell him, hey, go in there and finish the job. And he's yelling at Rollins, again, kind of like the leadership in the world now. He's yelling at Rollins, telling everyone, hey, get him in there and finish the job. And Rollins just kind of looks at Reigns and Ambrose, just kind of like, nah, let's not do it. And they step down and start to walk away. Kane turns into a chokeslam by Big Show. Big Show gets the win. And then as the Shield are walking away, Kane gets up, grabs Rollins, brings him into the ring, tries to set him up for a chokeslam. As he lifts him up, spear by Reigns. And SmackDown ends with the Shield standing over Kane. Not something you normally expect, which is why I'm kind of happy about it.
Yeah.
Because I love the unexpected.
I mean, this too was another message by the Shield. They said this time that they are not errand boys for one particular party or another, but they are the hounds of justice.
3 messages from the Shield in this 2-hour episode.
Absolutely.
Definitely. What would you guys say match of the night?
Ziggle Wiggle with Rio.
Ziggle Wiggle with Rio.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone understood that.
Sadly, yes. What say you, Hobo?
Ziggle Wiggle.
With Rio.
See?
Because the
For those of you
bird
listening,
movie.
he was flapping his arms like they were wings.
I was doing the Ziggle Wiggle with the bird.
Hey,
the bird
Ziggler Wiggles.
Ziggle Wiggle. Ziggle Wiggle.
You know what? And I'm gonna go with Bray and Kofi. I love the Ziggler match, but I really like Bray and Kofi too. It surprised me. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was because I expected it to be a squash.
Well, a lot of the matches were good this time.
A very good
They've been
SmackDown.
stepping it up since pretty much the beginning of this year.
The Diva match was good too.
It was.
Yeah,
it really was.
We're getting closer and closer and closer to WrestleMania, so everyone's stepping their game up that much more. They want a spot. They want a spot. And we appreciate you, Hobo, for filling in for Rome's spot this week here.
Well, you're very welcome. Rome is a very good friend of mine. I've known him for a number of years.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I could rightly fill in his spot. And it is a big spot to fill, and I am a big personality to fill it.
Yes, that's true.
That is the best way to describe you, as big personality.
I am not just a wrestler. I am a wrestling personality. The biggest personality on the West Coast.
I like having you here because you don't shake your head at me. Now it's only you.
Well, now I shake my head at you?
No, usually Rome and Christian both.
Give it time. If I was here more often, I'd certainly shake my head too.
Well, you kind of refrained a little bit from talking too much about your man container today. So he just shook his head.
Kind of
there
sounds
you go.
like a body bag. That's a man container.
All right, well,
all men are equal in that container.
Well, Rome will be back next week, and until next SmackDown, Kaori, how can people reach out to you?
Oh, find me on Instagram and Twitter, KAORIOUS, Kaorius.
All right, Hobo.
I am on Twitter at TrueHobo and on Pro Wrestling Tees, ProWrestlingTees.com/Hobo.
Buy a Hobo t-shirt.
Do it!
You will feel better, and then he could actually buy some food. He hasn't eaten in weeks.
It'll get you laid!
I don't know about that, but, well, maybe. And
sure!
If that,
maybe.
I don't know, the rose shirts maybe. Who knows?
What's going on?
You can be a real rosebud by following me on Twitter at CRosieVOC, as well as check out Total Divas premiering this Monday. Corey will be there as well. And, of course, The Voice AfterBuzz if you're into music. And check out Hobo on NXT AfterBuzz on Thursdays. Thanks so much for tuning in this week for Corey, Takee, and the champ here, the Hobo.
So happy my triathlon's over. I am the champ. Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Pat on my back.
I'm Christian Rosenberg. We will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.